Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here today or at your convenience. I'm here every Sunday at 11:11 a.m., and then I archive all my talks on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Inspire YOUTV. So if you want to watch anything from the past, they're all there. There's hundreds, maybe over 1,000 over the years. So if you get really bored sometime, there's your entertainment. So anyway, again, happy Sunday. Glad you're here. And just a reminder, if you feel moved to pass this along, share it with someone. I'd appreciate that. Okay, so I want to remind you that our prayer ministry is here for you. And if you have any need for prayer or any request for someone else, just let me know. You can send me a message on Facebook. You can go to my website, charlottemcginnis.com, scroll down to the prayer ministry, and fill out the form, or just post it if you feel like you want to post it. Anything. I'll be happy to share any requests that you have. And actually, I get really wonderful feedback. I want to thank the prayer warriors. There's well over 100 of us that hold the request in the greatest degree of love and very much in sync in collaboration with what I'm talking about today. Keep your eye on the prize. For example, when someone makes a request for prayer, we literally keep our focus and intention and attention on the greatest degree of love, whatever that is. Not going down the, well, over here, you know, let's give this list to God. Let's give God our pleas for prayers, and I know what's best. Nope. Just keep your eye on the prize, and that is the greatest degree of love. So good morning, Dawn. Happy to see you here today. So happy to see everybody. So going forward, just always keeping in mind one request that stays constant every day on our prayer list is prayers for the world, prayers for peace in the world. And right now, this is a turbulent time, to say the least, in many ways. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened there, but here I am, I'm back. So yeah, prayers for peace in the world, and not peace based on conditions, but again, really the awakening to the truth in each and every soul on the planet. Not giving my shopping list to spirit, but rather thy will be done. And last but not least, oh, there's Sister Molly. Good morning, Molly. Good to see you. Also, want to just put prayers out for the family and friends in our country. Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, died suddenly last evening, not very old, 71 years old, hadn't been sick really from what they say. So just a reminder, you never know when we're going to be called home, and just blessings to his family and friends and loved ones. And whatever, it's not about taking a side, you know, good, bad, or ugly, but just he was a soul here on planet Earth playing his role just like we all are. So rest in peace to Lindsey Graham, and thank you for your service. So I'm going to start today. Keep your eye on the prize. It's a very true statement, and I want to come from, you know, I had heard back, you know, if I go back through my whole life, and I know you all as well can relate, you know, we've had dreams, aspirations, and goals, and maybe maybe your dream was to graduate from a certain university, get a certain job, live in a certain part of the country, get a relationship, whatever it is. We all have dreams, aspirations, and goals, but and those are all good things. And we use this idea, keep your eye on the prize, your focus and attention on that which you choose to create. And by golly, it works. So we're going to take that a little deeper, because I think I'm speaking to an audience that it knows that, yes, we've accomplished great things, and that's wonderful. But ultimately, we're we're here for a bigger awareness. We're more open to understand that we are one. We're all God's children, and that, you know, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper, regardless if I agree with them, like them, dislike them, whatever. We are here to really, I think the big test here on planet Earth, in this dream that we're dreaming, making real, is to realize that we're all, in the end, well, in the beginning too, we're all one. And what that means and how we can awaken to really integrating heaven into every moment. And heaven is the release of judgment, condemnation, fear, whatever it is. And all of those, as we all know, are programs of our past. So the statement, you know, I never know what inspires me to do a talk, but thankfully Spirit always gives me something to talk about. And I shared this actually earlier on Facebook, and we did talk about it in our group on Friday, which, by the way, all are welcome to join. Course of Miracles on Friday and our book study on Wednesday. But that being said, this is so compatible with everything we talk about. And Jack Nicklaus, just so happens, Jack Nicklaus being one of the greatest golfers of all time. I would have said in the past the greatest golfer of all time, but there's been others, Tiger Woods and others, who have certainly stepped up and challenged his record. But I will say he was great in so many levels, Jack Nicklaus, because not only was he one of the greatest golfers that ever played the game, he was also a great human being, a great family man, a great businessman, and really was able to really, I feel, lead from love in all he did. And he made a statement that says the successful people seem to have blinders on. Everything is straight ahead. They go forward and know exactly what they're going to do once they've made up their mind to do it. And by God, they don't look sideways. And I think that is so powerful because, you know, so often we put these obstacles, blocks to the awareness of our achieving our goal, accomplishing our goal. So just from let's just say, okay, Jack being one of the greatest golfers of all time, let's just use this for an example and we'll evolve from there. So he had his vision on being the greatest golfer of all time. He kept his focus there. He did what it took to accomplish that, and he did that. He didn't spend too much time going down the path of fear or what could go wrong. He didn't, when there were challenges, he used those as opportunities rather than a setback. And what is it they say? A setback is actually a set up for even something greater. So Jack Nicklaus really kept his eye on the prize. He had a goal, he focused on it, and he went towards it. So I would offer to say this is the fast track to success. And if there is a goal that you're choosing to manifest, and whatever that might be, we all, you know, we're here on planet Earth, we have dreams and visions, and those are fine and dandy and wonderful. So to make sure, if you choose to accomplish or you have a goal, just keep your eye on the prize and nurture that and feed that. And just imagine walking down a path and there's doors to the left and doors to the right and temptations on both sides. But if I just keep walking to Oz, the dream will manifest itself. So that being said, I'd like to take this a little deeper and suggest that the power of these statements is ours to use for attaining mastery, inner peace, self-realization, overcoming the world, awakening from the dream, true unity, true peace, oneness. And, you know, there's not anything in this world that can give us what we think we want, you know, and it's fine to have dreams and goals and desires and to accomplish those. Go for it till you're happy and go for it all the way. I think that's a good thing. But ultimately, the real peace that we seek, the real goal is awakening to the truth of who we are. And when we do this, when we keep our eye above all else, I want the peace of God. That's what A Course in Miracles says. Above all else, I want the peace of God. And when we make that the prize we're seeking, then all that is unlike that dissipates. And so I'm no longer I'm so focused on peace and love and unity that everything unlike that just falls away. And not only am I experiencing more peace, joy, and contentment in my life, but every soul, every vibration in the universe is lifted by every benevolent thought and feeling that I put into it. So it's real powerful stuff. Now, I love this too. This is a quote from Deepak Chopra that I think is so important to really bring my point home. And he says, there are no extra pieces in the universe. Everyone is here because he or she has a place to fill. And I think of that, God didn't make no junk. And even though no extra pieces in the universe, so there's nothing is by chance or accident. And if we look, I was envisioning this and just envisioning the universe as a puzzle, and each of us is a piece of the puzzle, and the puzzle is not complete until every piece is put in its place. And if one piece of the puzzle is missing, we have not allowed ourselves collectively to awaken from the dream. So in truth, my salvation, Charlotte, or each and every one of you, my salvation, my awakening is dependent on us all being in the puzzle and having the pieces in the right place. So it's, as I've talked about, and the drum I beat continually, and I probably beat it because it's my lesson to learn as well, is that every every encounter, as the Course in Miracles says, is a holy encounter. For in that brother or sister, I find myself or lose myself. So really, when we're taking responsibility for everything, we understand that these little glitches, these charges that we have, whatever upsets us, I'm never upset for the reason I think, the Course says. And what that says is, I think I'm upset because someone cut me off in traffic. I think I'm upset because this didn't go the way I wanted to do. But we're never upset for the reason we think. But we're always making up stories and saying that's upsetting me because. Just let it go. Release, let go. And Woodrow Wilson, he said, we're not here merely to make a living. We're here in order to enable the world to live more amply, with greater vision and a finer spirit of hope and achievement. And, you know, if we really understood how powerful we truly were, I think we let ourselves play small, you know. What is Marianne Williamson's quote? Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure, and that we're suppressing that power, and we suppress it because we're afraid of letting our light shine for whatever reason. And once we just say, no, we're here to make a difference, we're here to bring light into the world through everything I do. So again, the eye on the prize, for me, that would be, and my highest abilities in every moment would be to say, okay, everything I do, I want to infuse with the intention of healing, of connectedness, of lifting the veil, of relinquishing judgment. I know that the conditions are not the truth, but rather what lies beneath or behind this veil of bad actors, as we might judge them, is beauty and love. And when we can come in with that spirit of waking up and infusing love into everything, and love from the context of unconditional love, meaning no matter what role you're playing and no matter how much I don't agree with it or maybe don't like it, that I know you're just showing to me where I'm still in need of healing, period. And when we do that and keep our eye on love, on the prize, and don't look back, you know, as Jack said, for crying out loud, don't look sideways, just keep going. And you know, maybe just consider that my real prize is inviting everyone into the party, everyone, no exemptions, and that seeing that prize as being such an awakening that there's all darkness dissipates. I know I talk about this a lot, but and I know many well-intentioned people, when they get charged up over world affairs, politics, whatever it is, they mean well, and they, I'm not, this isn't a statement of judgment, but, you know, just because I might not resonate or like what appears to be happening, if I'm meeting that with judgment and anger, I am feeding that which I don't want. And so we think we're doing good, we think we're living by the greater degree of light and love, but really what we're doing is feeding the darkness, or what we perceive as darkness. And I'm going to jump ahead to a quote here because it's so powerful. It's from the Course in Miracles, and it says, when our peace is threatened in any way, say to yourself, I do not know what anything including this means, and so I do not know how to respond to it, and I will not use my own past learning as the guide to guide me now, as the light to guide me now. So, you know, we think we're all that. We think, oh, I'm smart, I've got 12 degrees and all these letters after my name. I'm trying to remove the letters, by the way. I'm trying to peel away these false identities that I've clung to or whatever. And I'm understanding the power of this statement. You know, we think we know so much, but true enlightenment is releasing all of this knowledge that we think we have and we cling to and hold to so dearly, and realize I don't know what anything is for, including this, so I don't know how to respond, and I'm not going to use my past learning to to guide me now. And so if we just say that, okay, I'm charged up about this or whatever, you know, in our triggers are our greatest lessons. So, and really when we're triggered, it's something in the past. It's false. It's false. It's a program. It's a belief system. And so I used the analogy last week of neutrality, and let's just speak of this. They used in our Way of Mastery lesson the example of trees. And, you know, an environmentalist, what do they want to do? They want to protect trees and nurture trees and love trees and keep them away from being chopped down and what have you. And the loggers see trees as a needed resource to build homes and to cut down and to make paper, whatever we use wood for, and a means of supporting people through jobs, and the list goes on and on. So the environmentalists are resenting the loggers, let's say, and vice versa. And ultimately, it's neutral, except I've given it the meaning and the judgment that, well, I know better. The environmentalists are right on this one. No, the loggers are right on this one. You know, taking sides again, and I know there's thoughts about this, but I do feel that taking the side of love is always the side we want to be on. And not love from saying, well, love looks like this. We don't know what love looks like. The only thing I can say is that love excludes and exempts no one. And I think that the love that we're seeking is not in this world. There's not anything in this world, even though we keep looking and trying, that is going to give us the love that we're seeking. So it's not the program of love that we think, the romantic love and based on condition. It's the love of God, which is beyond this world. So we need to accomplish this, stay focused on the goal, the eye on the prize, remain steadfast in our pursuit of attaining this goal, and always do the right thing. And again, the right thing, what is the right thing? Well, I do believe that, the ego has, well, this is right, this is wrong, right? Well, I found something interesting is, some podcaster had said this week, and speaking of the Old Testament and moving into the New Covenant, the New Testament, the Old Testament was a little more fire and brimstone, and the 10 Commandments were given to the world as rules to live by. And then fast forward, the New Covenant, Jesus, Sermon on the Mount, the Lord's Prayer, the Covenant of Love, and so as we evolve, as we lift the veil, I think that guidelines, the 10 Commandments, were useful, helpful. They're good rules to live by, no doubt. But as we evolve in love, we don't need those guidelines anymore, because doing the right thing becomes more natural. So the Holy Spirit will, how we do this is the Holy Spirit will meet us where we are, and in every encounter, lead us to do the right thing. And that's different for everyone in every encounter. And sometimes I even think that doing the right thing it looks dark and ugly sometimes, because maybe that's what prompts a wake-up call or change and like awareness, like, whoa, I don't want to do this. And wouldn't it be nice if we could get all our lessons through just, unicorns and marshmallows, but sometimes that's not the case. So sometimes the greatest blessing in our life are our greatest challenges. So doing the right thing is really tuning in to that still small voice, surrendering to the prize, which is enlightenment for all and excluding no one. It's a big call, it's a big ask, and I know we're up for it. We just have to be willing. So this is another wonderful statement. Whenever we want to achieve something, keep your eyes open, concentrate, and make sure you know exactly what it is you want. No one can hit their target with their eyes closed. Well, I'd say that, we'll say two things to that. Eye on the prize. What we focus on, the more laser focus, the more likely we are to get there. It's a fast track, absolutely. Just something on the side, though. No one can hit their target with their eyes closed. Well, maybe. I don't know if that's the case, because I know that there are enlightenment teachings that actually part of the curriculum is blindfolding the participants and giving them a bow and arrow, and just by tuning in, tuning into the target in an inner way, they're able to hit the bullseye with a blindfold on. I know that's the truth. I've seen it. I've not tried it, but it is interesting. So, as long as we keep really our eye on the prize, and the prize is love, awakening, heaven, enlightenment, oneness, unity, and we don't give up and we keep the faith, all will be well. But once we take our eye off of that and get triggered and get sucked down that rabbit hole, or like, ooh, that's nice and shiny, wasn't it? Finding Nemo, Dory, the fish, would be like, ooh, shiny, and just take off for that, right? So as long as we can keep our eye on the light, on love, and no attachment to what that looks like, and keep the main thing, and above all else, the Course says, as I said a few minutes ago, I want the peace of God. These other things are nice, and they're wonderful, and certainly a part of our human experience, but ultimately seek first the kingdom of God, and everything comes from that. and we do the right thing naturally, much more naturally. And so, you know, life ain't easy. I don't think this experience here on planet Earth is the easiest journey that we've been on. I'll just speak for myself, but the beauty is, and I know that we can all relate, is when we do practice these truths, these principles, and live by those, even though the challenges continue to present themselves, we don't get sucked in by them. It's just kind of like, okay, I've been on this statement, not today, Satan, not today, right? Not going to go down that rabbit hole again. You're not going to hook me. It's very interesting. And I think we all, you know, as we're on this journey, we realize that even though we're moving forward, there are temptations and opportunities for us to fall off track, and that's okay, because we are going to slip and fall on the journey. But just the sooner we can say, okay, I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep moving forward, then as I said, that's the fast track. When we're living from this, back to the archery, you know, with the blindfold on. Well, vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. And I think that, you know, it's the invisible is where the power lies. You know, it's that inner light. Helen Keller, deaf, dumb, and blind. And what an impact this woman had on the world, because she lived from that inner vision. Couldn't see as we see, didn't have the eyes to see, but sometimes maybe our eyes and our faculties can be a distraction. And she was forced to go within. And sometimes it takes what it takes to get us there. And so everything ultimately in that respect is for our best interest. Carl Jung says that our vision will become clear only when we look into our own heart. Who looks outside dreams, and who looks inside awakens. And I think, again, that's the point of what I'm choosing to relay here today. It's not out here. We're dreaming a dream and, you know, trying to manipulate all the pieces to it. And ultimately, it's not out here. He who looks inside awakens, or she who looks inside awakens. So faith is the vision of the heart, and it sees God in the dark as well as the day. So when we're living in faith, faith is the opposite of fear. We know that even in the darkness, God is there. Love is always there. There's a beautiful poem, John Dillett Freeman. Anyway, I am there. And even in this, it reminds me of James Dillett Freeman. It reminds me, faith being the vision of the heart, that God is with us even in the darkness. And that's mastery, because regardless of what is happening, I can always be at peace, because I know that this is just, it's not real. It really isn't. It feels real. I'm not saying that for lack of compassion and just blowing it off like, well, it's not real, forget it. Even though ultimately that's true. But really, I'm saying it from a place, only love is real. And it's not found here in this world. So if we really want to accelerate and awaken, we have to take that possibility, truth, into our being and say, okay, I'm willing to give this a shot. I'm willing to see beyond my thoughts about how things need to be good. And when we live from inspiration, it's excluding no one. I always think, and I've said this over the years, I always envisioned, you know, if I were president, what that would look like, you know, ultimately, I mean, just in simple terms, but powerful, is wouldn't it be awesome if whoever was in charge would get the group together, the leaders together, both, you know, maybe here in the U.S. and then at all these international meetings, and And the first comment or the intention, the prize is like, okay, what can we do that is going to serve the greater good of everybody? And if that was really the goal and all that energy was funneled into that vision, talk about accelerating the process. But for whatever reason, I'm not going to even say unfortunately, I guess it's just where we are collectively, people have different ideas and agendas and power and control and greed and, these things, not putting a charge or judgment, but all of those attributes are keeping us from the vision of unity and oneness. So I'd still hold that hope and possibility that, those who can make the change, well, I don't want to diminish our power either, but wouldn't it be awesome if we could come from that intention and goal? So my suggestion is we can, and I can do it, and you can do it. And the more people who make that decision and choice, guess what? It lifts that vibe for everybody, and maybe just that is the prompter that will elevate the intent of the whole. And I do believe that. So we need to, I love this statement, and of all people, Diana Ross says, trust that still small voice that says, this might work and I'll try it. So, it's the ego skeptical and says, oh, that's pie in the sky, that'll never work, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe, maybe not. So this might work and I'm going to try it. Well, I don't think anything else has really worked that well. We're just, on that wheel, and we're just repeating, the past, and, we're fighting against each other, and we're very much in duality and fear and judgment. So let's try this. It just might work. So when we dare to be so powerful, we use our strength to the service of our vision. We use our strength to the service of others, and we're not afraid anymore. So in a practical sense, too, I do believe that this is the statement I'm choosing to share right now is to live in this light and intent is to no compromise. It's like, above all else, we want peace. We want the best for everybody. And sometimes that means that we walk away from arguments that lead us to anger. We walk away from people who deliberately put us down. Walk away from people pleasing who'll never see your worth. Walk away from any thought that undermines your peace of mind. Walk away from judgmental people or angry people. And it's not about making them wrong, because I would say, rather than walking away, I would say as we heal, that relationship has served its purpose, and we can bless and thank. Oh, I'm glad it's helping you, Andrea. I think that you recognize and you can bless and say, thank you for teaching me that. I got that. It sucked at the time, but yeah, I like it now, and thank you for that. So they disappear. And sometimes it's like, nah, I don't want to play that anymore. Some people, they just want to fight and beat the dead horse, and where's that really getting us? It only takes one to heal a relationship, usually the saner of the two, as the Course of Miracles says. So, relationship, we can just, I'm right, you're wrong, all this justification and all of this. And to heal the relationship is being the saner of the two, and the saner of the two is to walk away. Not to condemn, not to attack, not to say, it's not about that. It's just, okay, I get it. And through that, when we stop feeding that tiger, there's nothing for it to feed on, and so it dissipates the anger and resentment. So it's all about holding the vision and eye on the prize, and making sure that we set the intent that I want the greater good for everybody and no one exempt. Because right now, you know, it appears that a lot of people are genuinely afraid, and understandably so, because if I'm looking for this world to sustain me, to give me peace, I'd be really a lot more scared, right? So a lot of people, as Maya Angelou said, when we know better, we do better. And so now that I think we all know better, and are we going to be committed to the goal of being better, of doing better? That's our choice. So very simple way to wind down here. A man once asked the Buddha, "What's the most powerful thing in life?" And the Buddha smiled and replied, "It's your mind. When you fill it with love, your life begins to change. Or when you fill it with positive thoughts, your life begins to change." So flood your, you know, we have free will to choose what we bring into our mind. Course in Miracles, everything is about healing the mind. Everything is mind. So the more I flood it with love and positivity and the desire for unity and keeping my eye on that, that is when not only my life will change, but the life of everyone on this entire planet and beyond will be transformed from duality to peace, from hell to heaven. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and appreciate it. And if you choose to pass this along, you can push the share button. And a reminder that all my Sunday talks are archived on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/InspireYOUTV. Thanks, and see you next Sunday. Have a great week, and namaste, peace on earth. Okay, take care, everybody.